everybody, it's Aunt Fa. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a simple chest of drawers. Not a chester drawers, there's no such thing, it's a chest of drawers. Make sure you tell everybody. But anyway, starting as usual with the default cube. I'm thinking of what I want to make, and I'm going to make the chest of drawers that's in my bedroom, and has been since high school. So I'm going to make this default cube a little more narrow, and I'm going to make it a little more like that. Okay? Now I'm in object mode. While I'm in object mode, I'm going to show you something important. Okay, so I want my move it. You'll notice me make a lot of mistakes. That's okay. Somebody's got to make them. I'm making them so you don't have to. There you go. Anyway, pull this up. Oops, I've got that on. Always remember to unsnap your snap up here when you're not using it. And I'm going to put some legs under there, so I'll bring it up to maybe there. Okay? Now, this is probably a good place to talk about the origin. The origin is this intersection right here. I don't have my Z axis, the blue one here, on. I forget why, but I don't. And when you're going to make something for games, you always want its location, its size, and its scale to be 0, 0, and 1. It just makes it really easier to stick stuff places. Now you'll notice here in the transform, I've got it off of Z. The scale is 1 in one way, and we want all these the same. So the way you do that is you type Control A, apply all transforms. Now you see it's 0 meters, 0 degrees, and a scale of 1, which is just fine. Get used to doing that. It's a good habit to be in, because your boss will give you grief if you don't. Anyway, so here we've got our basic cabinet case. We're going to put on it a bottom and a top and some drawers, and maybe fancy the top up a little bit. In the next video, I'll show you how to put colors on it. But for now, here we go. Go follow the cursor up here to edit mode, and you notice the whole thing is selected. I don't want the whole thing selected, just this bottom here. Now there's a couple of ways you can put the bottom on, and a couple of ways you can make the drawers. I'm going to use the loop cut tool here, and I'm going to make what looks like a ridiculous amount of loop cuts. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's a really cheap way of making the outside all the same. So say I want the edges of, the legs, maybe I want them that wide. So we've got all of these, they're all the same width. That's good. And we can go back to there, press Alt, select all the ones you don't want. Now, what I'm doing is I'm holding down the Alt key, selecting the line. You can pick up the Alt key now if you want. And since you probably don't have any shortcuts here yet, delete, dissolve edges. Now that I think about it, if I'm going to make a fancy bottom for this, for now I'm going to leave all of those. So Control Z, 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 Z. Okay. Now I'm going to make my drawers. And I don't need a whole bunch of cuts for that. So let's say I want, there's 3 drawers. Let's say I want 4 drawers. There you go. Now I'm going to put one way up here for the top, one way down here for the bottom. There you go. And since I need feet, I'll put feet there, feet there. Since this is going in a game where you're not, I certainly hope you're not going to look at the bottom. I don't care much about that. Now, okay, so let me think here. What do I want to do? This is going to have, like I said, a fancy bottom on. Do I want that there? No, I think I'll put it there. The dresser I've got has a little sort of curvy thing down there. So I'm going to put that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the feet, and then all of these. Oh, wait a second. No, not all of those. And then all of this. I'm sure this is called something. I don't know what. Go to, turn it around, extrude, E for extrude, and that's a good place to have that skirting board or whatever it is fall to. Then I'm just going to collect the feet, go back. The way I'm moving stuff around is I'm just holding down the middle mouse button and playing with the mouse. Now I've got this over here, and I'm over here someplace, so I press Shift, middle mouse button, and I drag it to over where I'm looking. Now I want E, extrude, and there's the bottom of the feet. So let's say I'm going to make a wavy bottom thing, and I will, for the moment, take out that. I'll take out every other one. Ooh, that was the middle. You know what? I don't care. There we go. And I'm going to, let's see. Okay, that's the middle. That's got to be down. So I'm going to take, I'm going to grab this and grab this one. Always do the different sides at the same time, otherwise you get really screwed up. Pull that up, and then I'm going to get that one. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, this one, and this one. Pull those up. Now, I'm going to show you a trick. Before the current iteration of Blender, this was kind of a difficult trick. Now it's way easy. Get your cursor, go up to Edge, and bevel edges. Now sometimes you can just move the mouse and the edges will bevel like that. And sometimes it won't do that, just to drive you crazy, but you can do it yourself in here. tell it how many segments you want. That's how many cuts there are here. And you can change the shape. You know, you can make it more pointy, or you can make it out that way. That's kind of nice. Let's have that. No, let's not. 0.5. And just go ahead and play with it. Change that. Change this here. Go back to that. Material index, I don't know what it does. I'll have to find out and let you know. Or you could look it up and let me know. I don't know. Anyway, go and collect this one now. And that one. Control B is the shortcut for bevel. And I usually just pull it till they look like they're all the same distance. And there you go. And then here and here. Control B. See if it's going to do it. And yeah, oh, look at that. That worked really well. There you go. So now you've got sort of a fancy bottom on your dresser. What do you do with this ugliness in the middle? Well, you might ask. Well, let me think. How about, let's do this. Put in another one. Whenever you put in a loop cut, it will always put it in the exact center of whatever other loop cuts you've got. Now I want to go up to here, turn off the loop cut by picking the move thing, grab that, and I'm going to pull that all the way up to there. And I'm going to grab these, Control B, and just play with it till it, does it look nice? Who knows? Yeah, that's good. It's kind of wonky, but it's good. Now, something else I'll teach you that's good to know. If you want to make something low poly, which if you're making for a game, low poly is a big deal. Low poly, each one of these squares and triangles, those are all polygons. Games hate drawing polygons. So unless you're making stuff for an actual game console, you want to be rid of these. The way I do it is you press K for knife. There. Come on. And K. First press all to deselect things you don't want selected. Then pull that there. And now we can get rid of these lines. And yeah, you'll have to go do that on the bottom. And these you don't need either because they're not attached to anything. So just press them and X, dissolve edges. Dissolve edges by whatever means makes you happy. Whenever I do this to get rid of lines, I try to do it on the bottoms where people are usually not going to look. And the reason I do that is because sometimes, for reasons who knows, Blender will slightly warp the shading on whatever you're working on. Here I'm using, I gotta remember not to use, this is my shortcut, a backslash. That's what I was using. I'm trying to remember to show you exactly what I'm doing. And there, now we can get rid of these. Alt, and I'll work on the ones on the back later, because really. But anyway, rather than boring you to death with all of this, let's go on to the next step. The next step is I want to push all of this part in a little bit just to have a shadow line here. So I'm going to select all these faces. Extrude, push it back just a touch, just enough to give you that line, and there you are. Now I'm going to get rid of these anyway because they're bothering me. And yeah, I'll fix it up later. Okay, so there's your gist. Now, I'm going to get rid of this too because I don't need it I can always put it back later. I want to put drawers in here. And I'm going to do that by selecting that and going to, let's see, it's inset faces here, and the shortcut for this is I. So you type I, or you can just pick that and bring it in just a touch. That I, where's the I on my keyboard? I don't know. Bring that in just a touch. I bring that in just a touch. I bring that in just a touch. And that's the outline for our drawers with, you know, a little bit of leeway between them. Get that and that and that and that. This is the really easy, cheap way to make easy, cheap drawers. Select all of them by clicking on them and holding the Shift key. Press E and pull them back out. There's your drawers. Now I want to make a fancy top. Here's some more lines I can do without. We don't need that. Don't need that. And to be honest, we're not going to need that, but I'll leave it for now. So I want to select all of this, which I can either select one at a time, or I can hold down the Alt key. Here, I'll show you. Hold down the Alt key, put the cursor over a line perpendicular to the band you want to select, and just press to select, and there you are. Now, Alt E, extrude faces along normals. What this means is that, I think I mentioned before, a face has normals, and there's an inside normal and an outside normal, depending on who you ask. When you extrude along normals, you're telling it to extrude perpendicular to the face. So I extrude along normals, and I don't know why this is, but I forgot to tell that back thing not to extrude. I bet. Okay, so now I'm going to do this a different way. I select that, go there, extrude along normals. I don't know why this works this way. It extrudes out if you move the mouse pointer in, and in if you move it out. This makes no sense to me, but you know, most things make no sense to me. And now that I look at this, I think it's too much. So I undo it, Control Z, Alt E, extrude faces along normals. That's enough, you think? A little bit more. Yeah, okay. And now we will grab that and grab that. Control B. And there we have a nice curve. Okay, I think I'm going to stop this one here. In the next video, I'll show you how to make drawer handles and how to apply color to this thing. So go back to object mode, and there we are. See you in the next video.